And y'all can laugh at me. It's fine. I will be your spectacle. I will be your laughing spectacle. You can all laugh at me. It's fine.
You know what?
I'm not about this shit. I'm motherfucking Dr. Phil. Bailey, you attacking my audience made my penis go so far up my body it came out of my asshole. Sure, they are here to laugh for me, or clap for my savage ass, because I'm about to end your whole career.
I'm not
Anything
gonna play.
I can say to fix this?
Bailey, my marriage has gone to shit right now. I can't satisfy my woman anymore. How many horsepower acts I take, my dick won't grow 2 inches long. If you can keep a solution for that, then I might let you stay on the stage for a while.
I'm so
No.
sorry.
Well then that settles it. Even though you're a person with many mental issues and a victim of sexual abuse, I'm still going to have to ask you to leave the stage because you ridiculing my audience is too much for my M&M head to handle.
I apologize that I offended you in any way, shape, or form. That was never my intention.
Well, you certainly did, Bailey. Even though I'm used to talk to audience all the time, and I can see in your face you're actually really nervous. I have to compensate and make people think I'm a savage and a badass psychologist, and I'm not even a licensed psychologist.
If you'll take Bailey off, it's good to meet you and I wish you well.
Thank you.
I'm not doing this.
Alright, all jokes aside, I know this episode is really infamous because how Dr. Phil handles this patient of his. And I think those people are absolutely right. Because he's not a licensed psychologist, if you know that. At least not anymore. He had, however, from what I know, a license to practice psychology and a doctorate in psychology. Now, talking about this episode, the way that Dr. Phil handles this patient is so unbelievable. Like, he should have kept in mind that this is actually a victim of sexual abuse on multiple occasions. And before you say he doesn't know it, he does know this. He stated this before he asked her to stop the charades of ridiculing his audience, which is such a minor thing to be upset about. Going so far to even asking her to leave the stage and calling her living in fantasy land, which I get she's a bit delusional, but putting it in that way is just degrading in general because she's going through a mental illness. And he knows better than anyone. This is a manifestation because of all those abuses she went through. And I'm not even mentioning the fact that she's so nervous. You can hear her voice literally trembling every time she speaks.
I believe when we talked on the phone last night and I asked you if she was coming in, if she was coming on a plane, you said I can't put her on a plane tonight. There's no flights that come out tonight.
And Dr. Phil just slamming this girl left and right, man. It's just so brutal. For those of you who don't even know what this episode is about, it's about this girl obsessing/stalking over a girl she once found on the internet. Because he apparently helped her because of a post with her anorexia. And now she's just obsessed with this person. Like, she even goes as far as to say she hears the person in her head talking to her, or that she's a ghost moving things in her apartment, which is really weird and ridiculous at the same time. But as a psychologist, you should at least look at this from a neutral standpoint, in which you don't make fun of the person because of this, and especially don't act so defensive against them. And what I mean with that is, in the beginning of this episode, when she came on the set, Dr. Phil asked her how she is doing, and she said not good because they brought her biological mother also to the Dr. Phil show, in which she said she talked to the producer and he said that she won't be there. The way Dr. Phil responds to this is so defensive and immature at some point. Like, he feels the need to really defend his show because of this minor dispute.
Y'all brought someone here that I explicitly said not to bring.
Yeah, who's that?
My biological mother.
Would you like to leave? Because you can certainly leave, because nobody tells me who to put on my show, including you.
Okay.
So if you think you're entitled enough to tell me who comes on here and who doesn't, somebody has given you a really bad message.
And it's not like she is under underage or something. She's actually 21, so parental vision isn't even needed. If you really wanted to talk to her, did it over Skype or anything. You didn't even have to bring her on the show. There were many options you could have taken instead of flying her over to the show. Not to mention, he even brings out the producer, and the producer doesn't even know who's going to come on the show. And then he says Dr. Phil makes the rules, and then Dr. Phil said he doesn't even know who's coming on the show. He decides that at that point.
Well, the producers here, you don't make deals for me, right?
That's right.
What do you tell people when they ask you what I'm going to talk about or not talk about or do or not do?
I always say I have no idea.
Because
It's
you
up
don't.
to Dr. Phil, because I don't know.
Because I don't know.
That's right.
Which is like, what kind of show are you producing, man? It sounds very chaotic. But anyway, moving forward, she then has you can say it's kind of a nervous breakdown, because you can almost see on her face expression and her voice cracking that she's going to cry. But then Dr. Phil slaps back with his savage lines, you know? And I mean, it isn't that savage if you ask me. Because the audience is always on Dr. Phil's side. And he knows this. Yet he's so defensive about her calling out the audience to laugh. Because I think she knows this sounds ridiculous to most people, because she's actually very smart, and that can be shown if you watch the rest of the episode, because she's very level-headed but also very delusional. And as her mother stated, she was actually a very smart person after these traumatic things happened to her. But yeah, Dr. Phil should have handled this more level-headed, not just ask her to leave the stage because of that one thing she did. You can point out how this is really strange behavior or whatever you have, but in my opinion, it's not a reason to send her off stage and degrade her so much in front of those audience, especially when you know she has these kind of traumas. But yeah, the episode proceeds with her talking to the girl Jasmine, who she was talking online, and somehow Dr. Phil failed to realize that Jasmine leaking her nudes isn't a good thing to do.
I tried to block Bailey, but she just makes new profiles and messages me again. Bailey has sent me thousands of naked pictures and videos through all social media platforms. I don't want to see any of it. I tried to stop her by posting her naked pictures publicly, but then Bailey reported me and got my business page deleted.
Because I mean, even though she stalked you and sent her nudes multiple times, it's not a way to respond to a stalker. It is, however, understandable why she would do it, but that doesn't make it right. Anyway, Jasmine and Bailey finally sort things out, and she promised them to not stalk anymore and whatever. But this episode has been nothing but reality check. She didn't get any help provided at all. And I hear people, I don't know where this rumor started or where it came from, but people are saying that she went missing after this. And I want to look into this, but I couldn't find any source or anything. But I see many people in the comments saying that, and it really makes me worried for her safety. But yeah, Dr. Phil handled this very poorly. And the way he just attacks her after saying that she didn't want her mother there because it's his show is really unprofessional. Because at least you gotta give her a good environment to talk about these type of things. You don't want other people conflicting with her behavior to be on the set, you know. And this is not the only case Dr. Phil actually f***ed up, because there's another case where a woman actually sued Dr. Phil after she got on the show because she actually worsened because of the Dr. Phil show. Yeah, but anyways, I don't think the Dr. Phil show is a bad show per se, because he does help people with professional experts, but I think he needs a reminder that he's not actually a licensed psychologist to practice these types of things. He can only give advice from a level-headed perspective, if you know what I'm trying to say, like rational thinking or just getting an insight, and then have some people that can proper diagnose them, which he does in some cases do. But yeah, anyways, that's my video about Dr. Phil. I just found it a bit weird that this is the way he treated this patient so poorly, and he deserves all the backlash he gets for it. But yeah, if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe if you're a fan already, or if you want to help a brother out. This has been Broski. Goodbye.